Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all in today's history class. Today, we will complete the chapter Delhi Sultanate. Today, you will know more about governance during the Sultanate period. Before I start governance during the Sultanate period, I want to share the learning outcomes with you. At the end of today's class, you will be able to explain the main features of society during the Sultanate period. Means, at the end of today's class, you will be able to explain the social condition of people during the Sultanate period. You will also be able to state the economic condition of people during Sultanate period. Means, you will be able to state the different occupations of people, their sources of income, and import and export done by people during the Sultanate period. You will also be able to write the main features of language and literature during the Sultanate period. Means, at the end of today's class, you will be able to write about the languages used by them and the main features of literature developed during the Sultanate period. Today, you will also be able to describe the development of art and architecture during the Sultanate period. Means, you know it very well that 5 dynasties ruled during the Sultanate period, and rulers from these dynasties contributed a lot for the development of art and architecture. So, at the end of today's class, you will be able to describe the development of art and architecture in your own words. So, dear students, let us revise first whatever we have done earlier. We have studied slave dynasty, Khalji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, and Lodhi dynasty, along with the contribution of the rulers of these dynasties. Yesterday we studied the main features of administration during the Sultanate period. We studied that Sultan was the head of the administration and he worked with the help of his ministers. So, dear students, now I will continue the chapter and first of all I will share the main features of society during the Sultanate period. During the Sultanate period, the Indian society was divided mainly into two classes, Hinduism and Muslims. The Muslims were the ruling class in the Islamic State. They were divided mainly into two sects, two groups, Sunni and Shia. The Muslim enjoyed a higher economic status, means they were more rich. During the Sultanate period, slave system was also very much popular. Firoz Tughlaq from Tughlaq dynasty, Firoz Tughlaq had 1,80,000 slaves. 1,80,000 slaves. The condition of women was not good. Many Muslims kept more than one wife. A Muslim widow could remarry, whereas in Hindu society, remarriage was not allowed. Now we will talk about Hindu families. Hindus formed a large majority of total population of the country, but they were economically backward. They were not given high posts. The Hindu society was based on rigid caste system, means rules and regulations were very strict, very rigid. The lower class people were exploited by higher classes. This led to wide scale of conversion to Islam, means so many people started changing their religion. The Hindu society suffered from evils like sati system, child marriage, ban on widow remarriage, and female education. At that time, intercaste marriages were also not allowed. So, dear students, I hope now you can explain the main features of society during the Sultanate rule. Let us revise from my slide. Once again, the Indian society was divided into two classes, Hindus and Muslims. The Muslims were the ruling class in Islamic State. Hindus were in majority, but they were not given high post. Hindu society was based on rigid caste system. The condition of women was not good. Hindu society suffered from evils like sati system and child marriage, widow remarriage, female education, and intercaste marriages were not allowed. Now, I will share the economic condition during the Sultanate period. Most of the people during Sultanate period, they were engaged in agriculture, means it was the main occupation of the people, and people depend upon rain for agriculture. However, canals and wells were also used for irrigation. You must remember here Firoz Shah Tughlaq. He constructed many canals that proved helpful for the agriculture. But the farmers led a life of poverty and misery. At that time, industries were also developed. The main industries were spinning, weaving, sugar production, handicrafts, pottery, and jewelry making. Please repeat these industries once again after me. Spinning, weaving, sugar production, handicrafts, pottery, and jewelry making. Good. Some of the sultans patronized art and craft, means they started giving help to the people who were involved in such activities. They had their own karkhanas where all the fancy and luxury goods were manufactured for the royal family. At that time, India had well developed internal and foreign trade also, which was carried on both by sea and by land. Both by sea and by land. India exported so many things such as rice, spices, indigo, textiles, silk, and sandalwood. All these things were exported from India. And so many items were imported in India, such as horses, wine, high graded textiles, glassware, raw silk, etc. Please, we will repeat all the imports and exports once again. Please speak after me. First of all, items which were exported during the Sultanate period, they were rice, spices, indigo, textiles, silk, and sandalwood. Good. Now we will revise imported items. Items which were imported in India. Horses, wine, high-grade textiles, glassware, raw silk, etc. So dear students, I hope now you can also state the economic condition of people during the Sultanate period. Let us revise again from my slide. Agriculture was the main occupation. The farmers led the life of poverty and misery, means they were not happy. The main industries were spinning, weaving, pottery, sugar production, handicraft, and jewelry making. Some of the sultans also patronized art and craft, and India had flourished, means well developed internal and external foreign trade also. Now we will discuss religion during that Sultanate period. During the Sultanate period, Hinduism was a dominant religion. It was followed by majority of people. The Hindus followed Vaishnavism and Shaivism. Jainism and Buddhism were also practiced by people. And Islam was mainly brought to India by Muhammad Ghori and earlier Mahmud Ghazni. They believed in one God, whereas Hindus worshipped many gods. Sufism and Bhakti movements also started during this period. Dear students, now let us study about language and literature during the Sultanate period. During the Sultanate period, Khadi Boli and Braj Bhasha became the literary languages, as prose and poetry was written in these languages. On the other hand, Muslims used mixture of Persian and Arabic, mixture of Persian and Arabic in their codes. The introduction of historical literature was an important contribution of that time. Ziauddin Barani, he was a famous historian. Ziauddin Barani wrote Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi. It was the name of his book, Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi. This book was written by Ziauddin Barani. So next was Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro was a well-known literary genius of this period. He was not only an outstanding poet but also a music composer and a historian. There were also many local languages which were well developed, like Bengali, Gujarati. They were used in many parts of the Sultanate. Bhakti and Sufi saints, they used local languages for their preaching. At that time, Urdu was also developed during this period, which was a mixture of Turkish and Hindi. Urdu was mixture of Turkish language and Hindi language. Many Indian classics were also translated in Persian, Turkish and other languages. Indian classics were translated in Persian, Turkish and other languages. Good. So dear students, I hope now you can write main features of language and literature during the Sultanate period. Let us revise them once again from my slide. Khadi Boli and Braj Bhasha became literary languages. The introduction of historical literature was an important contribution of that time. Ziauddin Barani wrote Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi. Amir Khusro was the well-known literary genius, and Urdu also developed that period. Do you remember Urdu was mixture of? It was mixture of Turkish and Hindi. Very good. So, dear students, now let us see the developments in art and architecture during the Sultanate period. During Sultanate period, a new style of architecture developed with the help of Indian craftsmen, and this is known as Indo-Islamic architecture. It is famous as Indo-Islamic architecture. Its impact is clearly visible in the monuments of that period. The earliest example of this architecture are in the Quwaitul Islam Mosque and Qutub Minar in Delhi. They were constructed by Qutbuddin Aibak. And who was Qutbuddin Aibak? He was first sultan from slave dynasty, right? So he died quite early. So the work started by him. The work for Qutub Minar, it was completed by Iltutmish. Alauddin Khalji, he was from which dynasty? He was from Khalji dynasty. Right answer. So Alauddin Khalji, he also extended Quwaitul Islam Mosque and built Alai Darwaza near it. It's a very decorative and impressive gateway with an arc. Khaljis also wanted to build a minar in front of Qutub Minar, which was to be double of its height. But he could not fulfill his dream as he died at a young age. This incomplete minar can be seen even today. You can see this. Next is Tughlaq dynasty's rulers of Tughlaq dynasty. They founded many new cities like Firozshah Kotla, Firozabad, Tughlaqabad, etc. The famous monument of Tughlaqs is Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq's tomb. It is a tomb of first ruler of Tughlaq dynasty, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Its shape is octagon. Octagon, you means 8-sided, right? So it is in the front of Tughlaqabad fort, right? Is it clear, beta? So I hope now you all are able to describe the development of art and architecture during the Sultanate period. Let us revise once again from my slide. A new style of architecture known as Indo-Islamic architecture developed during the Sultanate period. It was developed with the help of Indian craftsmen. The example of architecture is Qutub Minar, Quwaitul Islam Mosque, right? Alai Darwaza, it's also good example of art and architecture. It was built by Alauddin Khalji and it's a very impressive gateway with an arc. So dear students, let us revise whatever we have done today with the help of our textbook. Same as earlier, I will ask you questions and you will try to think upon the right answer. So, the first question is, the Indian society was divided mainly into two classes. Those classes were Hindus and Muslims, right? And the Muslims were divided into two sects, two groups. Those groups were Sunni and Shia, right? And one amongst both enjoyed a higher economic status. Muslims or Hindus? Muslims, right answer. Muslims enjoyed a higher economic status. And there was also a trend of keeping more and more slaves. So, who had 1,80,000 slaves? He was Firoz Tughlaq from Tughlaq dynasty. And what about condition of women? It was not good. Muslims had a trend to keep more than one wife. And about Hindus, they were more in number, means their population was more, but economically they were backward. They were not given high posts. The Hindu society was based on caste system, rigid caste system. And the people of lower classes were exploited by higher classes, and this led to the high level conversion into, they changed their religion from Hindus to Islam. Hindu society suffered from evils like sati system, child marriage, and there was ban on widow remarriage. Ladies were also not allowed to be educated, and they were not allowed to have intercaste marriage. Good. Now we will revise economy. So what was the main occupation of the people? It was agriculture, and people depended upon rain. Wells and canals were also constructed. We also studied about Firoz Shah Tughlaq, who constructed many canals that provided helpful for the agriculture. It was. There were also many industries like spinning, weaving, sugar production, handicraft, pottery, and jewelry making. Right. And the kings had their own karkhanas. What was done there? It was for that fancy and luxury goods were manufactured for the royal families, means for the king's family. India has well developed internal and foreign trade, and this trade was carried on both by sea and by land. And items which were exported: rice, spices, indigo, textiles, silk and sandalwood. And items which were imported in India: horses, wine, high grade textiles, glasswares, and raw silk. Good. And which religion was a dominant religion at that time? Hinduism. And it was followed by majority of the people. Hindus followed Vaishnavism and Shaivism, and Jainism and Buddhism were also practiced by many people. Islam was mainly brought to India by Mahmud Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori, and they believed in one God. And the Hindus, they worshipped so many gods. Sufism and Bhakti movements also started during that period. Now we will discuss languages and literature. So, two languages, Khadi Boli and Braj Bhasha, they became literary languages as prose and poetry was written in these languages. Muslim used a mixture of dash for their codes, mixture of two languages, Persian and Arabic. The introduction of historical literature was important contribution of that time. There was a book, Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi. It was written by Ziauddin Barani. Very good. Ziauddin Barani. And who was another literary genius of that period? Amir Khusro. He was not only a music composer but also a very good historian. Right? Next, local languages like Bengali and Gujarati, they were also used in many parts of the Sultanate. Right? And Bhakti and Sufi saints also used those languages for preaching. One more language developed during that period, it was Urdu. And Urdu was mixture of Turkish and Hindi. Right. Now, art and architecture. It was most popularly famous as Indo-Islamic architecture. And the examples of architecture during slave dynasty rule are Qutub Minar and Quaitul Islam Mosque. Who completed Qutub Minar? It was started by Qutubuddin Aibak, but it was completed by his son-in-law, Qutubdin's son-in-law, Iltutmish. Right. Alauddin Khalji extended Quatul Islam Mosque and he built Alai Darwaza, right? And the main cities developed by Tughlaq rulers, Firoz Shah Kotla, Firozabad and Tughlaqabad. And Ghiyasuddin's Tughlaq tomb, its shape is octagon. And Lodhi Road and Lodhi Garden, these were built during the rule by Lodhi dynasty rulers. Good. So dear students, I hope now you can explain the main features of society during the Sultanate period. You can also state the economic condition of people during the Sultanate period. You can also write the main features of language and literature during the Sultanate period. You can also describe the development of art and architecture during the Sultanate period. Dear students, you can watch this video lecture again to revise the governance during the Sultanate period. Today, I am sharing again the full PDF of the chapter. Kindly read it again. Tomorrow, I will share a PPT to recapitulate the chapter Delhi Sultanate. Till then, bye bye. Enjoy learning. Thank you.